let us start the four colligative properties again. The last property is what? Osmotic pressure. That is the fourth colligative properties is osmotic pressure. So before studying osmotic pressure, you must know what is osmosis. Osmo means to push. So let us take a thistle funnel and attach a semi-permeable membrane and then fill it with sugar solution and keep it in a solvent. Okay. So this is nothing but the inverted thistle funnel. Okay. And this is sugar solution means it is having high concentration and solvent means low concentration. As soon as you keep inside, after some time you see that there is rise in the level of the thistle funnel. Okay. So what happened? The solvent particles is moving towards the solution, that is from the low concentration to high concentration. So this osmosis, this process is known as osmosis. So osmosis is nothing but the phenomenon of the flow of the solvent particles through the semi-permeable from the pure solvent to the higher concentration, that is the solution, is known as osmosis. That is from the region of the low concentration to the higher concentration. Okay. Now osmotic pressure. Now we have seen that the level of the solution inside the stem of the thistle funnel is rising. Then after some time we see that it becomes constant. The rise in the level is due to the flow of the solvent particles. This constant level shows that it is in the state. When it becomes constant, then we can say it is in the state of equilibrium. Now the flow of the solvent into the solution through semi-permeable membrane can be stopped if we apply the pressure on the solution side. Then this pressure can stop the flow of the solvent into the solution, and this is nothing but the osmotic pressure. So how can you define the osmotic pressure? The external pressure that has to be applied on the solution to prevent the osmosis. You have to prevent the movement of solvent particles into it through semi-permeable membrane is osmotic pressure. So this we can understand with the help of an apparatus in which we have, on one side we have solution, on the other side you have solvent. And in between you are having what? Semi-permeable membrane. This is solution and this is solvent. On one side you are having piston, that is on the solution side you are having piston. And on the solvent side you are having a narrow tube. Okay, so solvent can be filled from here, and here this is here what pressure is there? Atmospheric pressure is there. Here atmospheric pressure plus this osmotic pressure is denoted by pi, and if you are applying weight on the input some weight on the piston, so what will happen? The piston will move and thus you apply pressure on the solution side. So here it is P atmosphere plus osmotic pressure. So the molecules of solvent try to pass into the solution through semicolon organ, and the piston will tend to move upwards if you are applying pressure. Now if some external pressure is applied on by keeping weight here, then the entry of the solvent into the solution can be prevented, and this is nothing but the osmotic pressure. I hope you have understood. Now this osmotic pressure is also the qualitative property because it depends upon the number of particles. Okay, so osmotic pressure is also a qualitative property. So for dilute solution we have a Van't-Hoff equation. It is found that the phi, that is osmotic pressure, is directly proportional to C at given temperature, or pi is equal to CRT, where R is the gas constant, then C is the molar concentration of solution and T is the temperature. So we can write C is equal to N2 upon V, or N2 is equal to what? W2 upon M2 upon V. So instead of C you can write W2 upon M2 into V into R into T. So pi is equal to W2 M2 into W into RT upon M2 into V. Now W2 is the mass of the solute and M2 is the molar mass of the solute. So knowing this, you can find out the osmotic pressure. Okay, also we can find out the molar mass also, that is W2 RT upon pi V. So two equations you get. This method is widely used to find out the molar mass of the large macromolecules like proteins, polymers, etc. That is, you can find out the molecular mass of the biomolecules, as they are generally not stable at high temperature. So we easily can find out with the help of the osmotic pressure. Numerical related to this. Calculate the osmotic pressure. So you have to find out the osmotic pressure exerted by a solution prepared by dissolving 1 gram of polymer of molar mass 185,000. This is the molar mass given, that is M2, and in 450 ml of water at 37 degrees Celsius. This is the question, that is, calculate the osmotic pressure in Pascal exerted by a solution prepared by dissolving 1 gram of polymer of molar mass equal to 185,000 in 450 ml of water at 37 degrees Celsius. So pi is equal to CRT. T is given as 37, means 37 plus 273, that is equal to 310. R, the value you know, that it is 8.314 into 10 to the power 3 Pascal liter mole per Kelvin. So put the value here. You have to find out the pi, that is equal to 1.0 into 8.314 into 10 to the power 3 into 310 divided by 185,000 into 450 ml, means 450 upon 1000. So if you calculate, it comes to be 30.96 Pascal. Okay. Now next topic is osmotic, sorry, isotonic. No, before that, reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis. As the name suggests, the process of osmosis is what, from low concentration of to high concentration. That is the flow of the solid molecule from the low concentration to high. Reverse means it will just opposite, means the flow will be from higher concentration to low concentration. So process of movement of the solvent through the sample from the solution to the pure solvent by applying, if we apply excess pressure on the solution side, then you can just reverse the process, that is the molecules will move from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, and the process is known as reverse osmosis. Okay, short we say RO, and it is used in desalination of water. So how it is done? Suppose you have solutions, that is fresh water and sea water. Okay, now if this sea water is attached to the piston, and pressure, atmospheric pressure plus the atmosphere pressure plus atmospheric osmotic pressure is applied here. Okay, more than that osmotic pressure is applied, then what will happen? The molecules will go from the high concentration to the lower concentration, and it is nothing but the reverse osmosis. Okay, now this semi-permeable membrane, it must be strong for this process, strong to, okay, so that is used is nothing but the polymer membrane made of cellulose acetate. So one word answer question can be given, that is cellulose acetate. What is the semi-permeable membrane that is used for desalination of water? It has to withstand large pressure, no? So it is very strong, and that is used. Then isotonic solution. Iso means same. Isotonic solution. If we have two solutions of osmotic pressure P1 and P2, if both the osmotic pressures are same, then the two solutions will have, we call it as isotonic solution, having same osmotic pressure. When such solutions are separated by semi-permeable membrane, then no osmosis will occur. Then both the solutions are same. That is, no movement of particles will there, neither solvent particles from the one to the other. Here we have two type of solutions known as hypertonic and hypotonic. Hypertonic solution and hypotonic solution. If the solution with higher solute concentration, it will have what? Higher atmospheric osmotic pressure, means having high solute concentration. So it will have more osmotic pressure. The one which is having less concentration of solute, here the osmotic pressure will be less. Such type of solutions are known as hypotonic. So if such solutions are taken and it is separated by semi-permeable membrane, then there will be osmosis. So osmosis will occur from the hypotonic solution to the, suppose these are the two solution and it is separated by the semi-permeable membrane. So osmosis will occur from the hypo to the hyper. Yes, know about the saline that is injected intravenous in human body. This is having 0.9% mass by volume concentration, which is equivalent to the blood cell. That's why if you inject it, then nothing happens to the individual. But suppose this is the blood cell, if you are injecting the 0.9% solution, not 0.9, if it is, the concentration is suppose more than 0.9. Okay, so what will happen? So higher concentration, here it becomes lower concentration, so movement will be there like this and the blood cell will shrink. And if we have blood cell and the concentration here is less than 0.9, so what will happen? The molecules will move into the blood cell and it will swell. That's why the saline that is given to the human, it is having the concentration that is equal to 0.9 and it is NaCl, sorry I didn't tell you, it is NaCl, 0.9% NaCl mass by volume. Okay, this is about the isotonic solution. Now last topic left is abnormal molecular mass. This chapter is going to finish, only one topic is left, and that is abnormal molar mass. So to get we are from the colligative properties, you have easily you can calculate the molar mass. Now if you want to get the correct molar mass, then the solute must not associate or dissociate. If the solute particles they associate or dissociate, then what will happen? There will be discrepancy in the, and that is the number of molecules will either become less or more, and therefore the value of the molar mass will either be low or high than the expected value or the normal value. And this is nothing but we call it as abnormal mass. So abnormal mass is nothing but the low or higher value than the expected value of molar mass. Now two things we said, that association and dissociation. Means if there are n molecules of A, then it will associate to An. That is, the total number of molecules will become what? Less. Okay, less than the number of molecules of the substance added, as because in the solution they will get attached to each other, and we have seen that the colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass. Okay, in all the equation, if you observe that colligative property is inversely proportional to M2, that is molar mass of the solute. So what happens? Here colligative property is less and molar mass is more. So in case of association, what will happen? Suppose 2CH3COH, it forms CH3CO2H 2 times dimer, it forms, suppose. it becomes associated. Okay, so what will happen? Due to the hydrogen bond, it will get associated, and the molar mass will become double. Okay, it will be higher than the expected value, or we can write molar mass equal to 2 twice into expected value. In case of dissociation, AB dissociates into A plus and B minus. So what will happen? The total number of molecules will increase, therefore colligative property will become large. So if colligative property is large and it is inversely proportional to molar mass, so molar mass will become less. This becomes large means this becomes less. Okay. So molar mass will be less. So we can say molar mass is equal to expected value upon 2. Okay. Example is KCl. K plus and Cl minus. That is dissociation. Now, quantum factor 1 on factor. In 1880, he introduced a factor called quantum factor, that is symbol is I, to express the extent of association or dissociation of soluble solution. So I is what? It is nothing but the extent of association or dissociation of solute. Or I is equal to abnormal or observed colligative property upon normal colligative property. So observed colligative property is directly inversely proportional to molar mass, and I is equal to total number of molecules, moles of particles after association or dissociation divided by before association or dissociation. So I can either be less than 1, or I can be greater than 1, or I is equal to 1. So if I is less than 1, association will be there. If I is greater than 1, then it is dissociation. And if I is equal to 1, then it is neither association nor dissociation. So association means molar mass will be more. Here molar mass will be less, and in case of this there will be no effect when I is equal to 1. So suppose AB dissociates into A plus and B minus. If there is 100% dissociation, one molecule furnish 2 ions, so I will be equal to 2. And for dissociation, I will be equal to what? 1 minus half will be equal to 0.5. Okay. So the modified equation for relative lowering of vapor pressure P1 naught minus P1 upon P1 equal to N2 upon N1. So multiply by I. For elevation of boiling point, del Tb is equal to I into Kb into M. For del Tf, it will be I into Kf into M. And for osmotic pressure, pi will be equal to I into C into R into T. Now, degree of dissociation or association is denoted by what? Alpha. So we require to know about the degree of dissociation or association and what is the relation with that of the I, that is the want of factor. So I and degree of first association. I and degree of association. Alpha is equal to nothing but the number of moles associated by number of moles taken. Okay, so if Na is equal to An, then alpha at equilibrium, alpha is the degree of dissociation. So after at equilibrium 1 minus alpha will be there and it will be alpha upon n moles. So total number of moles of particles after association will be 1 minus alpha plus alpha by n, and we have to divide it by number of moles of particles before and after association. It will be equal to 1, so divided by 1, that is equal to I. So after simplifying you will get alpha is equal to 1 minus I into n divided by n minus 1. So here if n and I is known, then you can calculate alpha. Similarly for degree of dissociation, I is related to I n. So this is degree of association here, I, degree of dissociation. So alpha is equal to number of moles of dissociated, here it will be a number of moles taken. Okay. So total number of particles here will be 1 minus alpha, and as it is n into a number of particles, that is n plus or this, we can write n alpha. So just add both 1 minus alpha and plus n alpha. So that is equal to 1 plus n minus 1 alpha. Now total number of I is equal to total number of particles after dissociation, that is this much, and before association and association is that is number of particles is equal to 1. So divided it by 1, you will get alpha is equal to n I minus 1 upon n minus 1 if you simplify it. So this is for dissociation. Okay. So knowing I and n, you can calculate alpha. So let us do 1 or 2 numericals related to this. Acetic acid, it associates in benzene to form dimer, and 1.65 gram of acetic acid when dissolved in 100 gram of benzene. So this is acetic acid and this is benzene. Elevates boiling point of benzene to 0.36 Kelvin. Calculate I and alpha of CS3COH. So W2 is given as 1.65 gram, W1 is equal to 100 gram, del Tb is given equal to 0.36. Also Kb is given 2.57 Kelvin kilo per mole. M2, you have to find out of acetic acid, it is 60 gram. I you have to find out and alpha you have to find out. So del Tv is equal to I into, you have to multiply I into Kb into W2 into 100 divided by M2 into W1, or you can write I equal to, just replace here I and here del Tb. From this you can calculate the I. It comes to be equal to 0.5093. Now it is association. For association, alpha is equal to 1 minus I n by n minus 1. So put the values and you will get it is equal to 0.98. So this was an example of association. Then an example of dissociation. A solution containing 1.23 gram of calcium nitrate in 10 gram of water, then at temperature 100.97. Calculate alpha for dissociation. Kb for water is given as 0.52. So this is what 1.23 is what W2. W1 is 10 gram. Del Tb will be what? We have to subtract by 100, that is equal to 0.97. So this is what del Tb. Kb is given. Okay, so I will be equal to del P, del Tb 0.97 into Wt is how much given? 1. No, you have to calculate. Calcium nitrate, that is 164 into 10 upon 0.52 into 1.23 into 1000, it comes to be 2.48. Now from the equation alpha equal to I minus 1 upon n minus 1 you can calculate, that is equal to 0.74. And how you calculate n? It comes to be 3. Calcium nitrate, CaNO3, so I equal to calcium how much? 1, and nitrate how much? 2. So total it is 3. So that's all. So this chapter is finished. So go through the exercise that is given inside the textbook. Now that is the numericals inside that textbook, that is in text questions as well as the solve all the numericals that is given inside the exercise. Also I will give some questions which are very important, and we have to write or solve the questions in the homework copy, and maybe I will be taking test also. So that's all.